after getting a proper variety, the crop production is more important to exploit the potential of the varieties developed. So in this case, I will be giving a quick review of the crop production to develop a good agricultural practices for Noni, Morinda citrifolia. You know, this Morinda citrifolia is a very hardy crop. Kallulayum varum, mullulayum varum, podarlayum varum, ella edathileyum varum. So it's a kadal karailayum varum, salai varangallayum varum, ella edathileyum paakalam. All seashore, forest, fallows, in every area. So it was all found so far only in the natural resources, and we collect the fruit and then people were making juices. Now this is a world. You are not able to see this.
Yes, it is all. This is. I think this light can
light,
be off.
Mine is here. You know, the slide is not coming, only I am coming.
Light is coming.
So, the whole area you see on one belt from the equator this side and that. So this is the distribution of the Morinda citrifolia. It has a very deep root where Alamana, the trees may not compete well with the landscape where the shallow roots are there. Now the growth rate, the initial years, the growth rate is generally 0.75 to 1.5 meter per year. For Varsathala, 0.75 to 1.5 meter. Slowly, as later, the growth will be slow. Now see, for all, the first and foremost thing is, I said variety. When you say variety, the next thing is the planting material. The quality planting material is the most important one in all the horticultural crop, particularly perennial crop, which is still in the air only. We are not able to meet it. But then, here in Noni, we have developed a lot of techniques which we will be seeing. Now the seeds are extracted. This is a very common, easy method of propagation. But when you are going for seed propagation, if all plants will not be same, there will be variations will be there. That is why we always insist in a perennial crop, go for a vegetative method of propagation. Now, there is a seed dormancy. The seed dormancy can be broken with a hot water treatment or treated with sulfuric acid or hot water plus sulfuric acid, and scarification techniques are also available. Now, the propagation method, as I said, is the seed, stem or rooted cuttings, wedge grafting, softwood grafting and air layering. The preferred method of propagation are by seed and cuttings from the stem verticals. Vegetative propagated planting materials maintain uniformity and productivity. These are the authors who have worked on that. Propagation through seeds, many people have worked. Seed germination studies have also been worked. So these are all the studies concluded. No more studies on these type of things are necessary in future. So we should go further from that. Now this is a view of the nursery. Raising the seedling is more important. Maybe sometime we may use the net house. If the temperature is mild throughout, then there is no need for even the net house. But it is good to have a net house, to have a uniform seedling. See, this is the softwood grafting, the view of the nursery. It's a very good, beautiful nursery which was there in the Noni NRCN. Tissue culture technology also have been standardized. Tissue culture plants have been distributed to the farmers. The performance are mixed. Somewhere it has come well, somewhere it has performed moderately. Now this is the tissue culture. Then the vegetative propagation. In the coordinated program, we have given the All India Coordinated Research Program on the palms in 4-6 centers. The vegetative propagated tissue culture materials were given, and as an intercrop in coconut as a cropping system. So somewhere the cuttings have come up well, And in one or two places, the tissue culture also has come up well. Now you may be listening the other paper in very detail. So Dr. Asha Shankar will be presenting dipping in the cuttings in the cow dung slurry. This is very easy technique that you can dip the any cuttings, you dip it in the cow dung slurry and plant it, are supplemented with the Azospirillum, Rhizobacterium, and arbuscular VAM fungi. So if these three things are mixed in the potting mixture along with some neem cake and put the cuttings dipped in cow dung, the propagation is not difficult, it can be easily done. Now, development of a good agriculture practice is very important. People have worked out on this. Now, for which you have to know about the crop geometry. So I would like to touch upon the very first paper that Goa has presented. Maybe you can also have the leaf area index as well as the canopy spread and the number of branches. That will give you more information. The highest fruit yield of Morinda citifolia was recorded in the Arikinat Noni system. And that I will be coming again. The Noni being a hardy crop, it can come in a challenged environment. Means any unfertile soil, a land which is not fit for it. But then, when Noni is cultivated as a commercial crop for getting a higher profit, then it should be cultivated in a proper form. That's what. So it will come anywhere and everywhere. So I will put Noni. That will not give you profit. So it will come anywhere, but systematic cultivation with the proper irrigation, proper plant protection and management has to be given. Even in the seawater affected areas, because it's a highly salt tolerant also. So when tsunami came, when all the crops died, the Noni plants remained. So the Noni fruits were the vegetables. Noni fruits and the unripe fruits were the common food for the tribals. So the other crop which remained was the coconut. Now, irrigation in these days are very important. Erratic monsoon, climatical change, so optimum moisture is required, and at the same time, you cannot give a lavish irrigation, but you have to systematize the irrigation. So drip irrigation system is the best system where you are delivering the water at the root base and keeping the moisture adequately, keeping a microclimatic system which is congenial for the crop. So if you are going for a mixed cropping system, many crops inside the Noni, then you can prefer a sprinkler system of irrigation. So Nelson in 2005 has done some research. Excess moisture increase nematode. There are certain problem areas in India where nematode is very common. You have to live with the nematode, but you have to manage the nematode. How you are managing the nematode? There is a set of package of practices, probably in the plant protection section that will be given. So that's not a problem. So this is the drip system of irrigation. The plant will get one drip or two dripper, so that continuously in the root zone water will be given. So the growth will be continuous, fruiting will be continuous, flowering and fruiting will be continuous. So this now we see that the Noni plant you just plant and leave it without pruning. You have to at least 0.5 meter height. You have to chip off all the side laterals, which I am not seeing in Arunachalam field. Also, he has not done that. I wanted to tell him there, but you have to do it because for all the lateral cultural operations, it is easy that keep the stem clean so that you can work out the soil easily, apply the manure easily, and not only that, the good gut, to develop a good gut, right from base you are giving the laterals grow, then the plant will not be that strong. So crop geometry is very, very important, but the crop geometry, crop canopy, if you take, then lot more research to be done. What type of geometry it has to, and if that is the case, then the orientation of the branches, orientation of the leaf, how much sunlight energy that it is getting. So this all counts the total yield, the total biomass production, and then this all counts the total yield. Now the mulching is another technique which go invariably with the drip irrigation. The drip irrigation drops the water on the surface, but you can also put on another micro tube and put the dripper inside. The drip will be delivered at 30 centimeters also. That is subsurface irrigation. If you are doing that, yes, water will be efficiently used. If not, then any of these mulching material can be put in the basin so that the soil will not be exposed to the environment, so there will not be the evapotranspiration, loss will be minimized, so conservation of moisture can be done. These are some of the organic sources. So this I said, crop geometry, planting geometry and all that. Maybe still we have not reached to that stage in the Noni. These are the researches for the future that we have to concentrate. What type of Noni plant we want to produce. So accordingly, you can develop a computerized model. For oil palm some years back, Arunachal says, no, but it is still work out. In oil palm, I saw in Malaysia, they have given a geometrical computerized system. So we want a type of plant with this type of plant so that the good sunlight energy can be harvested, the orientation will be proper, more flowering, more fruiting. Maybe in years to come, we may have to think of. The another thing which here it is loosely said geometry, but it is a single and double head system of raising Morinda setifolia under coconut. Under coconut, the spacing is 7.5 meters spacing between the two rows. So whether a two-row system of Morinda setifolia can be planted or a single-row system of Morinda can be planted. This Morinda is a taproot system, coconut is a shallow root system, monocot. So the monocot root of the coconut will be within the 1.8 kilometer, 1.8 meter deep, but this Morinda can go, one taproot system can go many meters down, but the bulk of the setting root will be into 3 feet. I will not go much into that. Then now we insist that morning our chief guest also said that organic production of Noni is important. The Noni biotech insists that the organic production of Noni is a must. So everything people are switching over to organic nature. So inorganic fertilizer on one side is costly, but that inorganic fertilizer cannot give that much satisfaction of a crop grown under the organic. Even today people are having big lands, allot some land for them to go for organic to raise the food crops for them, rice or whatever it is. So the taste will be different, keeping quality will be different. So when you think of organic, you have to think about poultry manure, goat manure, farmyard manure, Glycidia leaf. This is a very, very common and cheap method. All around the farm you plant Glycidia, and every 60-65 days you can cut the leaf. That leaf can be used as a mulch, the leaf can be used as a vermicompost. This is the low cost production of a vermicompost using the Glycidia leaf. I insist wherever I go, whatever may be the farming that he has, put the Glycidia around your farm and in between them so that you will get a low cost manure readily prepared at your command. So at any time that you want, you can harvest and make manure or apply as a mulch. Now poultry manure has got a high phosphorus and but only thing is the poultry manure when you are applying, you have to give some time. The fresh poultry manure will develop heat when you are applying in the basin. So it should be keep some time, then you apply the poultry manure, whatever may be the crop, not only for Noni. I don't advocate this cup method, it's all waste of time. Some research institute has done it, I am not criticizing it. There is no need for making such a huge cup shape water harvesting. Instead, trenching can be taken. If it is a slopy land, trenching at the staggered intervals, both at the top and bottom. Half moon drenching, like this full moon drenching. If you are making the drenching during the monsoon, the rainwater will come, stagnate in the basin, get absorbed down, and that will help to increase the moisture position. So these are the half moon, full moon drenching methods are good for moisture conservation. The pruning is very important. This is a part that pruning that you leave the lower 1 meter, half meter, whatever it is. Because we are interested, the crop comes to flowering in 9 months. So 9.5 months we want to harvest. So we leave it as it is when the fruits and flower comes. Don't think of the short-term benefit. Make the plant to grow well, then think of long-term benefit. For years together, you have to keep the crop. So you have to create a good crop with a good stem. Then you can continue for 20 years or whatever it is. So that type of things that you have to. Pruning, see, Dr. Singh has done, Singh and their group has done some work. Yes, this is a faulty pruning. When we are pruning in the sense, the bottom as the new things are coming, you chop it, clip up. Even with your knife, with your hand, you can clip. Allow it to grow like this and then cut it with the knife. Not only you are doing damage to the standing crop, but also the whole night nutrients has been exhausted, wasted. If you have removed this in time, the crop growth would have been much better. So timely pruning is very essential. Otherwise, it's a waste of nutrients. Agro techniques are very important. Spacing, 4x4 spacing seems to be better. Fertilizer schedule, Nelson and Singh et al. Has worked out 10, 20, 20 kg, NPK. So this is the only one data available on the fertilizer application, but still something more has to be done. Suppose we go for a high density planting, number of plants will be more. So that is why yesterday I was insisting some research program that availability and uptake of nutrients at different stages. If we work out the availability and the uptake at the seedling stage 2, first once in 3 months, what type of uptake the plant needs, and then the pairing plant yielding very high yield, very medium yield or low yield. If we collect the information then we will be able to give a risk norm for the fertilizer application, and that is possible. Now, today's condition, monocrop is ruled out. One has to go for multiple crop. You call it as an intercrop if it is an annual, mixed crop or multiple crop or multi-storied crop, and farming system. Farming system means not only crop, integrate animal, poultry, piggery, fish all together. If there is a pond, put the fish in the pond. Side you put the poultry on the set and put the poultry. The poultry dropping will go. I think ICR Research Complex some years before we have demonstrated. I don't know now it is there or not, but it has been done. These are some of the intercrops. This is in Andamans. This is in ICR Research Complex, Goa. You see the plant, you have to prune little bit in the bottom and then it will. So now, there are 3 aspects are tested in the coordinating centers, as I have already discussed. A single hedge system of noni in coconut, stem cuttings performing well everywhere, but somewhere the tissue culture plants also have done that. So these are all some of the intermixed cropping. This is a plant of tissue culture, the top one. The next one is a plant. The tissue culture plant also will be like a vegetative propagation. So the uniformity in the growth can be maintained. You can see the performance of the tissue culture, but still we may have to evaluate on a large number of plots or in a larger number of plants. Keeping 5 plants, 10 plants test and they say this is good, that is very difficult to accept by people. These are all the data probably I don't want to. This is Archikara, Ratnagiri, the noni seedlings, coconut noni tissue culture, coconut alone. If you see that, the soil nutrient status, the almost every 7 to 8 kg of the leaf is added to the soil every year from the noni itself. Then there are 12 to 15 leaves of coconut will be added to the soil. If that is properly cut and then put it in the soil flow back, then the soil fertility or the soil health can be improved. So the conclusion from that noni mixed crop from the coordinated program is this. Noni is a potential mixed crop for mixed cropping in the coconut garden. The performance of noni as an intercrop in coconut is better in tissue culture plants in Aliyar Nagar, Arsikara, Vepangalam Center, while the seedlings performed better in Ambajipet and Kaikuchi. Ambajipet is in Andhra, Kaikuchi in Assam. Ratnagiri is the Maharashtra centers of intercropping noni improves or maintains the yield of coconut because of the addition of water as well as the nutrient as well as the recycling of organic matter, the yield. Growing noni as a mixed crop in coconut garden is remunerative. Coconut is harvested once in a month, but commonly once in 45 days. This noni also once in 3 months, sometimes continuous harvest also is possible. So if that is the case, if with the noni, coconut noni, one can have always the money in his pocket. So this is the single hedge system, also only one plant. Now, I said that organic production we may have to. These are all the Andaman Islands have developed carry. Dr. Singh, under the leadership of Singh, they have developed certain good varieties, types or accessions, what I call. So that is yielding very good. And carry has identified 7 superior genotypes, namely carry, HD6 carry, HBA, Y11, like that. What I would I thought in the crop improvement session much more details would have come, but the lead paper was not presented. Now, what I would have I will suggest here, yeah, clubbing this material. Somebody said inland material and then the island material will be different, but you collect all that. A coordinated experiment, maybe here one and in Andaman one, a replicated trial here in 2-3 centers with 6-7 varieties. If we are able to evaluate, that will give you the performance of the varieties under the varied agroclimatic conditions. Maybe that may be our approach in the coordinated program also in future. Now we have heard that we have the 2 varieties released by the NRC, National Research Center for Noni. And these 2 varieties, what we have to build up a good, strong mother farm garden with a 40 or 150 or 100 trees, so that at any point of time, any quantity of planting material can be produced and distributed. So these are some superior types yield. The noni flowering and fruiting is a continuous process. So the fruiting also can be continuous. But 3 phases of growth of fruits has been identified. The fruit ripening takes, morning we said somebody has presented 120 days. So it ranges from 120 days, 90 days to 120 days. So this is the pollination normally takes place. It's a cross-pollinated. Pollination takes place by insects, flies and butterflies. Now the harvesting is very, very important. Once you are trying to get your yield, so you have to see what is the optimum stage at which the harvest can be done. When you touch the fruit, when it is green, there won't be much smell in that. But when it is green yellow, slight smell, pale yellow, and then pale yellow, finally it becomes soft. At that time only the smell is very, very fantastic. You cannot stand nearby that ripe fruit. So these are the stages. What stage you want to harvest, what distance you have to transport to the factory where it is processed, depending upon the situation, either 3, 4, 5 has to be selected. Immediately nearby you are giving the last one, otherwise you have to go further. So as I said, 9 months 1 year it will fruit, but initially you have to allow the plant to go for a good get. After harvesting, the packing and transport, that is also very important. The protocol for packing has been worked out by Gary, by Dr. Singh, and they have shown you washing the fruit and then packing in the containers, buckets, and then sending. But still, some more work has to long distance transport work has also been done, but it has to be still further intensified. So this is the noni fruits at various, you can see the various maturity stages, ready for harvest or even delayed. Somewhere maybe in the day after it can be harvested, like that. So various types are there, means every 10, 15 days also you can harvest. That is the type of plant. It all happens depending upon your management practice. So what will be the yield? The average yield after second year is 7 ton per hectare per year. Average annual yield is 70 ton per hectare per year from fifth year onwards. The first one is second year, fifth year onwards, you should get at least 70 ton. The high per plant yield means the capability of the plant, which is 250 to 3. If this is the case, human, how many tons? More than 250 tons you can get. So harvest can be, the crop can be for 40 to 50 years. Now keeping the conditions prevailing here, the labor problem, the drudgery in harvest, the need for canopy maintenance, topping, cutting at the top, maintain at the canopy at a desired level so that one can go with the ladder and then harvest. Like that, we may have to develop a canopy architecture so that it need not be allowed like a big tree like mango, then harvesting is going to be very difficult. So these are the harvested fruits. I think I will go to the post-harvest losses. Not much work has been done on the post-harvest losses. So wastages seems to be more. 25 to 30% is being wasted. So how to save this? So some more studies have to be carried out because this fruit is a highly perishable fruit. After harvesting the fruit, it becomes ripe within a week's time under the normal condition. So you have to put it under the cold storage condition. So the profit Andamans has worked out. It's a very fantastic crop. But anyway, if you are treating this as a crop, yes, definitely you can get a very good crop. Now, at the time that it was done, rupees 5, sing. Now it is 10 rupees. So the profit can even be double. Now I have indicated certain future thrust area. What I have given is not my research work. I have gathered the information all over the world who has done research on the various aspects so that I have put it in a form available to you. Now for the researchers to see that what has been done and what is to be done. So that is what this type of review articles will be useful. I won't go into that. Widening germplasm still is necessary. Descriptors have been developed and catalogued, but we have to prepare a good catalog of the noni with all that selected 80 types, right? Evolving high yielding varieties. We have done some varieties, but these varieties have to be evaluated for high yield, drought tolerant, because water is going to be a problem in the years to come. So drought tolerant, and like that pest resistant, disease resistant, and quality characters. Suppose high scopolatin varieties are there, so those things can be multiplied. So then the high density planting. Now this is the very important one everywhere. Right from mango we said 40 feet earlier, but now we go for 7 feet, 8 feet. High density planting. Cashew, it was again 40 feet, 7.5 meters, but again we go for high density. High density, within 2-3 years we can get a high yield. Maybe 6-7 years we can remove certain plant and maintain the lower density, medium density. So your yield will be continuously will not be reduced. That is the benefit of high density, which we have not tried. Canopy architecture, all that I have covered, but still drip irrigation, ad hoc we are giving, but we have to develop, yes, for this much yield I want to get per day, I have to give this much under the existing climatical conditions of the various agroclimatic conditions, we have to develop the system. But we don't have a system to go for the various agroclimatic regions unless and otherwise we approach the coordinated program and include in the trial as a mixed crop. Then we can get it done. Maybe some projects is there underutilized crop, so there also we can think of introducing. There is a project on cropping system coordinated project, so we can involve him to take up this crop also as one of the mixed crop in their experiment. So this is the way that we have to. Oh, sorry, I'm going back. So to sum up, the research that has been done in Noni is just a drop in the ocean, but the ocean would be less because of the missing drop. Vision and dreams, as the past president puts in, dream is not what you see in sleep. It is the thing which does not let you sleep. So you cannot sleep. You will not, till you achieve the goal, you cannot sleep. That is the thing. So the missing drops, whatever in the technology gaps we are having it, the missing drops added through systematic research on all aspects of Noni crop production to develop the good agricultural practices. To make the dream a reality, do not follow the path may lead. எல்லாரும் போற வழியில நானும் போறேன். No. You should go in a different way. Go instead where there is no path and leave a try. So you go in a different path, try to achieve. என் புருஷனும் கச்சேரிக்கு போறான்னு போக வேண்டாம். நான் போனேன்னா அந்த கச்சேரியில போய் ஏதாவது அச்சீவ்மெண்ட் பண்ணணும்ன்ற நோக்கத்தோட போகணும். That's what I said. So thank you very much. Noni, thanks. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.